In this video, we're going to solve a systems of inequalities problem in MyLab, and we're going to use Desmos to help us. So here I have the system that I want to graph. So I'm going to start by using the Desmos graphing calculator, and I'm going to type in the two equations, and this is going to help me graph the lines of my system. So my first equation is y is greater than 5x minus 10. So I'm going to type that in. And here's my graph. I can see that I have a point at 2, 0, and another point at 0, negative 10. So I'm going to click to enlarge graph. And what I'm going to do first is I know that this graph is going to be a dotted line. I can tell from the equation because I don't have the line underneath the greater than or less than symbol. So it's strictly greater than. So to switch to a dotted line, I'm going to click on this line below the solid line. The default is always going to be solid, so that's what you're going to get unless you change it. Then I'm going to click on the line tool, and then I'm going to plot the 2 points. So I had a point at 2, 0, and then a second point at 0, negative 10. And again, remember that I can watch that upper right corner with my points to see if I'm plotting them in the right place. I can also click on a point if it is in the wrong place and edit the coordinates, and that will allow me to type in where I want the point to go. So that's my first line. Now I am going to move this over so I can see what my second line is supposed to be. Y is less than negative x minus 4. So here's my graph. And looking for some points, I have a point at negative 4, 0, and another point at 0, negative 4. So I'm going to click on the line tool again to put another line. This is also going to be a dotted line. And we're at negative 4, 0, and 0, negative 4. Again, watch that upper right corner to make sure that I'm plotting things where I want to be plotting them. And so there's my second line. Now, the last thing that I need to do is shading. And so to shade in MyLab, you're going to use this bucket, like a paint bucket. If you ever use Microsoft Paint, it's the same idea as Microsoft Paint. The paint bucket fills in a solid area. So I'm going to go back to my Desmos graph here and find the overlap of the shaded areas. The overlap of the shaded areas is the only one that I fill in with the paint bucket. So I'm not filling in all 3 of these areas here, only the one where both colors are shaded. And that's going to be sort of on the left side of the X. So going back to MyLab here, that's going to be this area of the graph. And I click to put the shading down, and then it will shade that area. Just like always, I can click on something and select delete if I want to delete it off the graph. It'll give me a warning before it does it. I could also click on clear, and that will clear everything from the graph. So I'm going to save my graph and check my answer. Looks good.